Hey, Steve Stine from Guitar Zoom Academy here. Thank you so much for joining me. I had somebody that contacted me and asked me a really interesting question about what would I tell my younger self as a guitar player. And I took some time to think about that a little bit and thought that was really interesting, thinking back to how many years I've been playing, how long I've been playing. Not just years, but the hours I've spent practicing, and what I would tell my younger self. And the first thing I think is I loved my passion and my dedication to, practicing diligently, that sort of thing. One thing I wish I would have had is more organization, more of a game plan, not just being all over the place. I think I developed some really great physical skills, memorizational skills, some ear training because of the way I grew up playing, learning how to play songs by ear off records and things like that. But I never developed certain musical skills when I was younger. I couldn't improvise, at least not in a, creative, melodic, dynamic context. I certainly could over just shredding things really fast, but really trying to make connections musically, I didn't have that skill. The other thing is that I didn't spend any time working on creativity, songwriting, how all of that kind of stuff works, and I really wish I had done that as well. I think I could have made a lot more progress if I had had an actual game plan of practice that included more than just, theory or technique or something like that. I think I could have made even more progress back then in places that I find myself now. And certainly in the creative aspects of writing and things, it's always been something that I enjoy doing, but I just, because of my lifestyle and what I already do as a living, I don't find myself having enough time for some of those things, and I really wish I had made more time when I was younger so it was part of, who I am. And the other thing I would definitely say is learning to sing better. Like spending more time vocally learning to sing and not just, I'm one of those guitar players. Like I spent all my time playing guitar and didn't really focus on anything else. Nothing else was in my line of sight, piano or vocal or anything. I was just hell bent on playing guitar. And again, I'm thankful. Don't get me wrong. I'm very thankful. I'm just saying if I could go back and talk to my younger self about things, I would definitely say having a more holistic guitar game plan would have been really beneficial long term. I think that would have been the biggest one, is being able to cover more ground. The thing you learn is that you don't know what you don't know. The only thing you know is what you know. And where do you know that from? Well, you know it from a friend or a teacher or a relative or nowadays videos and that sort of thing. And sometimes it's the right information at the right time. Sometimes it's the right information but at the wrong time. And sometimes it's the wrong information. Doesn't mean it's bad information. It just means it's not what you need. And see, the one benefit that I think I had back then is that because I didn't have YouTube, none of that stuff existed back then, there wasn't so much noise, there wasn't so much distraction, so I could work on the things that I was working on, to the nth degree like I did. That I'm very thankful for. Just wish I had a better, more rounded game plan. And the other thing I would say too is working with actual players. Like I was always alone, growing up in Fargo, North Dakota, I didn't have any other guitar friends or, there was minimal teachers back then. To be able to be around other motivated guitar players, a teacher or whatever it might have been, all of the above probably, would have been really, really, really cool to stay motivated, to learn new things and go, oh, I didn't even know you could do that, or how does that work? Or, to ask questions about things. I never had that opportunity when I was a kid. The only thing I had was my ear in the beginning, and then the guitar magazines started becoming popular. Guitar World, Guitar Player, Guitar for the Practicing Musician, some of those, and I would buy those and then I would read everything in them and try and work on anything that was in each one of those magazines. Mostly songs, but there were little, technique things or theory things or stuff like that I would work on. And that's all I had. So there was no, interaction of whether I was doing something right or wrong or how something worked. And I really think I could have made a lot more progress if I had something like that as well. So, just something to think about. Maybe you're in the same situation, trying to figure out what it is that you're trying to do, and it's worth giving it a thought. So anyway, thanks for your time. Take care. Stay positive. Keep practicing. Figure out a good game plan. Like never stop playing. Never stop playing your guitar. You need to find a solution, something that works for you. And if you've already found it, then hey, God bless you. That's awesome. But if you haven't, give consideration. As I usually say, you can always check out the Guitar Zoom Academy, see if that's something that fits you. You can always set up an interview and we can talk about it and just see if it's something that works for you. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And if it does, it's time to get going. It's time to change where you are into what you want to be. So anyway, take care, stay positive, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?